Well, hello, my Jedi friends. Today we ask the question, are you ready? Are you ready for it? Big questions. There's big questions being asked. And I know I threw this down as a title. What's the big question? What big questions you talking about, Adam? Well, the big question that keeps coming up for people that I'm spending time talking to when we really get to the nitty gritty is, are you ready to wake up? Are you ready to wake up? Now, what's all this about? What is this about, Adam? Of course, I'm awake. You've talked about this before, haven't you? Haven't you been talking about this? What is awakening? What is being awake? Am I awake? Should I be awake? How do I become awake? How do I get awake? How do we do that? We ask the questions. We ask that question, and what does it even mean? What does it even mean? So it's interesting. Interesting question that we ask ourselves. So let's talk about this rather than just these loose terms. Let's actually bring some practical realization. What is awakening for an empath or people with high empathy, good people, star children, light workers, call them what you will, my Jedi friends. Jedi friends, that's what I'll call you. So what does it mean? What does it mean? So here's what I think. Here's my little take on it. I'll give you my take. Shall I give you my take? Yes, I believe I will. I'll give you my take on it. So here's what's happening. People that are sensitive to energy are realizing that there's a shift right now going on. It's live. You feel it. You can feel it. You might not be able to explain it. You might not know exactly what it is. And we've got Altug, my first Jedi friend, to jump on with a comment. Always good to see you, my Jedi friend. Thank you for joining me on this stream. Always good to see you, my friend. Always good to see you. So you will know this as somebody that's been through the Jedi Training Academy. You will know this question. This waking up can be uncomfortable. Because what does it mean? I think for a lot of people, they think that waking up or energy work is all sweetness and light and group hugs, my Jedi friends. Let's all dance around and hug each other and love each other, and the world will be a better place. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? I think that that's a lot of people believe that that is what it's all about. That's what it's all about. I've got turquoise blue on, and look, asking a very legitimate question. Is it time for what? So that's a good question. And I've got Tammy in the house as well. Hello from America, Adam. Well, hello, Tammy. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, my Jedi friends. So it's a good question, turquoise blue. Okay, let's just throw that back up there. Is it time for what? So I did sort of start with that, but since you've asked the question, let's just summarize it. Is it time to wake up? That's the question, turquoise blue. Is it time to wake up? What does that mean? He's talking a load of horse shit. Adam's talking horse shit again. He's waking up. Yeah, what is it? Here I am. I'm awake. Oh, my Jedi friends. Let's explore it. So let's summarize this. Highly sensitive people, good people, empaths, light workers, healers, call them what you will, have been feeling something's going on. You can feel it. You might not be able to explain it. You might not know what it is, but you can feel that there's something going on at the moment and you're not quite sure. It feels uncomfortable. It feels disruptive. It feels a little bit, what the hell is going on here? So here's my take on it. This is the awakening. This is people that came here to wake up, people that need to hold the space, people that have a bigger game to play. People that have a bigger game to play. Before you cark it, my Jedi friends, you have a bigger game to play, bigger than the one that you know at the moment. There it is. There's the question. There is the question. Are you ready to play? Are you ready to step up? Are you ready to own your greatness? Are you ready to own your power? Are you ready to be a better friend to yourself? Are you ready to energize? Are you ready to take your life to a different level? Are you ready to take complete control for everything that's happened in your life and be a master manifester of greatness in this moment? There's the questions. Lots of questions. That's not just one question, Adam. You said, is it time? Is it time? All these things. Now you're laying it out. It's like some mad smorgasbord. What if I want to take some of that, but not the others? Well, these are just some of the questions. These are some of the questions I'm going to be asking you today. That you can feel that there's something in the air. We all know that there's something in the air. We know that there's something not right. There's something disruptive. People sensitive to energy can feel it with every single core of their fiber of their being. And that's what we're talking about here. You know that stuff's happening. And here's some of the symptoms. In order to wake you up, the universe has to give you increasingly boss level bullshit. Boss level bullshit, my Jedi friends. Let's talk about that. So if you're on the awakening path, then stuff can happen to you. And what it will do is increasingly crank up the symptoms. And there's a couple of things that need to happen. It will keep cranking them up until these things happen. One, you'll get so pissed off that you've had enough. Enough is enough. You'll get to the point. Now, I've done different videos addressing each of these separate points. So if you really want the details, there's videos on each of these separate points that I'm going to completely, I'm going to glide over at the moment. So you'll get boss level bullshit into your world until you either reach the point of no return or you kill yourself, one or the other. You'll feel, probably quite likely feel suicidal because you've had enough. Why is the world being so difficult to me? Why is it giving me such dodgy cards? There's some dodgy cards being handed out here, my Jedi friends. And the odds are that you've been on the receiving end of them. So what the universe is doing is applying pressure to you. Pressure, 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 pressure. It's a Queen moment. Under pressure, it's coming down on me. That's what happens. Get pressure because diamonds get formed under pressure. Some things get crushed, diamonds get formed. We get rid of all the rubble, all of the nonsense, all of the stuff that hasn't necessarily been working, all of the nonsense. And at the end of it is a diamond, but it's painful, it's disruptive, and it's uncomfortable, my Jedi friends. So waking up and being ready to have something better quite often involves going into the pain before you can have the pleasure. Have to go into the pain to get the pleasure. Because if you're not getting the pleasure, then you probably haven't had enough pain or you haven't drawn clear boundaries on nonsense behavior. So let's talk about that. So during the last Jedi Training Academy, what was the journey? People come to learn energy, come to learn energy work. That's what it's all about. That's what the academy does. But everyone's got different expectations. No one really knows what to expect. So I'm going to tell you all here exactly what I tell everyone at the beginning of this process is that you will get what you need, not what you want. And it's very rare that what you need is what you want. And I know that people that watch a lot of my videos will know that I repeat this because the core lessons are worth repeating, my Jedi friends. It's worth repeating. We get what we need, not what we want. And on that basis, when we start working with energy, and what does that mean? What does working with energy mean? Well, let's just clarify this. You're working with energy now. Your thoughts are energy. Your actions are energy. Whatever you think, you're energizing. You think, you energize. That's how it works. So when you do some sort of energy work, some people think, oh yes, I have to be in a special healing zone. I have to be Zen. I have to get out the Tibetan singing bowl. I have to burn incense. And when all of these factors are in place, then we'll do some energy work. Now, this is a massive, massive misconception because you're doing energy work 24/7. Doing energy work 24/7. You're always doing energy work. The only time you're not doing energy work in this body is when you're dead. And then, depending on your belief, your energy work will be happening outside of your body. Or maybe you'll be completely dead and there's nothing else, depending on what you want to believe there. But that's a different rabbit hole for a different day, my Jedi friends. A different rabbit hole for a different day. No, don't go there, Adam. Don't go there. Let's just press pause. Press pause on that. Rein yourself back in. So the question is, are you waking up? Have you woken up? Are you ready to wake up? There is the question. Is it time for that turquoise blue? Are you ready? Are you waking up? Have you been awake? Are you threatening to wake up? Are you almost awake? There you go. Is it time for that? Is it time for that? Because speaking from personal experience, I can tell you that the waking up process is brutal and it's ongoing. I'm not going to tell you I'm awake. I'm an awakened one. Look at me. Look at me. I've been there and done it. No, I am going through all sorts of interesting stuff now. The difference between where I'm at and where I've been and where you might be is that I have now taken control of my energy on a 24/7 basis, and I am choosing right in this minute and this morning and yesterday and the day before that, I'm going to have a good day. Now, that doesn't mean that good things are going to happen to me. And I can tell you there's been some incredibly challenging stuff that has happened to me. When you raise your vibration, there's a lot of people that want to take you out of that zone. And I'll talk about this dynamic as well. There's a lot of people that aren't awake. So if you start waking up and you start raising your vibration and you start getting all of the stuff that we're talking about here, if that starts to happen, then people around you are likely going to be threatened. Because if they're not ready to raise their vibe or get out of their comfort zone, or to be a better person, or to be more self-empowered, then if you start making that journey, the odds are they'll feel threatened. Because you making changes will threaten them not doing anything about where they're at. And the way that human nature works is that people, if you put your hands down, if you climb out of the ditch and put your hand down, there's some people that grab you by the hand and pull you back in. Just because misery loves company, my Jedi friends. Misery loves company. And there's plenty of people out there that love that company. They love it. Yes, they do. They love it. And that's what it's about. That this isn't something that happens overnight. This isn't like, oh, yes, I'm awake now. Look at me. Look at me. Oh, lovely. Lovely. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? No. One thing that certainly came out of the last training program is this is the matrix. This is taking the red pill. And if you take the red pill, here's the bit that they don't tell you because it seems so alluring. Why wouldn't you want to take the red pill? It's very, very, very likely that everyone is going to regret taking the red pill after they've taken it at least once. At least once. Because it's hard work. It's hard work and it's ongoing. It's hard work and it's ongoing. That's worth repeating because it's really important. So this is what the time is all about. The time is that the planet is reaching a critical point. It's reached a critical point already. You know this. That humanity have ruined the planet to a certain degree. And we're at a tipping point of the point of no return. There's a certain level of damage that when we go beyond it, then things are going to go massively downhill. And we have the opportunity to raise the vibe and do something positive. And it's all too easy to think, well, there's 7 billion people on the planet, Adam. You know, even if I did wake up, what difference is that going to make? Is it really going to make any difference? Not only that, on the other side of 50 or the other side of 40 or even the other side of 30, you know, what am I going to do in the years I've got left? Now, that's the sort of attitude that the sheeple will adopt. They've got bigger fires to fight. They've got other things to consider. They're not really thinking things on a more energetic, sustainable level. Haven't got time to think about the planet. Haven't got time to think about awakening. We don't even know what it is. He sounds like a random bald bloke just coming out with this stuff. for no apparent reason. No apparent reason. And there's where we get stuck. We get stuck. No, don't do that. Adam, I thought this would be easy. I thought it'd be easy. Well, it isn't. So this is what the question is. Is it time? Is it time? So here's another question related to, is it time? Have you had enough yet? Have you had enough of what is happening right now? So Tammy has jumped on. Look at this. I'm 65 and plan being around till I'm at least 100. Now that is a good thing to be energizing, Tammy. I'm loving your style. I'm loving that. I'm loving that attitude. Fair play. Well, let's just take that then. 35 years is plenty of time to be able to make a decent, sustainable difference. But here's the thing, and here's, I guess, the difference between the new me and the old me, the younger me, the more enthusiastic me, the more unbattered by life's, shall we say, life's journey. And the old me thought it's really important to change the world. The new me, the here and now me, the person that's asking this question, is it time, realizes that real change, if I really want to make a real change on this planet, then there's a place I can start. Rather than go all macro, like this influence millions of lives, it has to start with just a single life. And that single life has to be my own. And for somebody with high empathy, where that usually starts is clear boundaries, putting yourself first, putting your needs before others. Now, this sounds almost contraindicated to the way that the empath is wired. So in personal development, let's go back a step. Personal development, it was once said to me that your greatest gift is your greatest curse. And it took me years to really own how profound that is. Every instance it relates to. And also one of my teachers said one of the fundamentals is that the universe is based on paradoxes. I thought, what is that sort of nonsense? It's taken years for that to percolate into my reality. So let's bring this alive. The people, you guys, my Jedi friends watching this, the odds are that you're high empathy. The odds are that you're sensitive to energy and that you're good with people. So let's start there. That's a superpower gift if getting on with people is your priority. Understanding people is your priority. Helping people is your priority. Superpower gift. Understanding, you're the best friend. You understand your friends love you because you're a great friend, because you actually care. And you know how to listen, you know how to get them out of a bad place. You know how to give them a reality check when you need to. Superpower gift, high empathy, superpower gift. This becomes a superpower curse in the context when life takes you to a certain point and you realize that you've dropped everything to help everyone else on so many occasions that you've forgotten who you are. Somewhere down the line, you forgot to put yourself first. Somewhere down the line, you agreed to a load of shit that you didn't want to do because you wanted to be that good person. You wanted to be there for everyone. You drank the Kool-Aid on everybody that was saying, you're so brilliant. You're so good at what you do. You're so wonderful. And you keep dropping everything to go and help everyone else. The awakening happens and the paradox and this whole thing flips at the point where you realize, actually, you can't give from an empty cup. Can't give to an empty cup through an empty cup. So you have to start being more ruthless and putting your own needs first. So Tammy has jumped back in. I was woke up very rudely. I was under CPTSD from a narcissist in my life, starting with my mother. One day it'll make a hell of a book. I was blessed with a highly empathic dad. Well, interesting, Tammy. I had the same thing. My dad was my best mate and a right laugh and Irish. Tick, 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 tick. Good fun. All of my mates said the same thing. You're so lucky to have such a great dad. These same mates, they didn't know my mum. you're given the yin and the yang, my Jedi friends. So luckily I was given a brilliant dad with great sense of humor. And I was given a very, very, very challenging mother. And that was obviously pre-planned. See, this is part of waking up, is taking ownership rather than blaming her for who she is and what she is. It's like that had to happen. If she hadn't been exactly the way, testing me from a young age, I could have spent my whole life and not woken up to this. And she wasn't enough. I needed other boss level narcissists who enter my world to really own up to how important it is to set really, really clear boundaries, really clear ones. So it's interesting you mention it, Tammy. It really is. Our big gift is our big curse. Is it time? The awakening happens when you realize your biggest gift is your biggest curse, and that everything you know to be real is based on a paradox, that something could be right and wrong simultaneously. And that is the ability to see things from all angles. And that's why I'm going to tell you that where I stand and what I say now, it may change next year, next week even. My reality might shift. My awareness might shift. I may turn into a completely different person. The point being, I'm now open to that. But I'm open to that from a place of taking an empowered place of energizing in the here and now. And what does that mean? Well, let's just do that. As you're watching this, just energize yourself now. Just ground yourself. If you're new to that, just imagine a ball of light at the center of the earth connecting to the base of your spine, a cord connecting to the base of your spine. Because energy follows thought, you're connected. Now slow down your breathing. That's something you can do all day, every day. Ground, breathe, ground, breathe. I know you breathe anyway, but when you think about your breathing and you consciously slow it down, you start to increase your energy. Now, part of what I do is just continuously irritate people until they're reminded that they're doing this 24/7. The energy work isn't something you put an hour aside here or half an hour aside there, or I do burn the incense and sit down in the Zen position. It's 24/7. And that, my friends, is what the Jedi Training Academy is all about. And this is what I've been guided to bring out to you. We're guided to do something. And I was always wondering what it is I'm guided to do. And I realize I'm here, my friends, to be a beacon, to wake people up. And that had to happen by starting the awakening process on myself. And frankly, my friends, there's been times where I've regretted taking the red pill. It would be so much easier to have not taken it. There's been challenges where I thought, why would I do this? Why would I do it to myself? Seriously, why would I do it? And what that journey has taken me is to an internal dialogue of waking up, of realizing that it's time to be my own best mate. Be my own best mate. A more empowered conversation that goes on inside my head now. Now, it's really important for me to let you know that doesn't always happen. It's not always an empowered conversation. There's some times where I would quite happily do some very dark things. But then I catch myself and I'm like, come on, Adam. Okay, it's okay to feel that way. But that's an opportunity to create boundaries. It's an opportunity to create boundaries. So we explore. Part of this is the exploration of all that we are. And that involves your darkness as well as your light. And I know it sounds so cheesy, but it's so important and it's so profound that you cannot fully shine your light until you own your darkness. You have to embrace your darkness to fully shine your light, which is why people, they want sweetness and light. They want to wake up. They want all of the lovey-dovey stuff. They want to attract their soulmate. They want to do all these things that are lovely. But they don't really want to look in the dark cavernous place in the back of your mind, where one day you wake up and you're ready to explode with everybody. You've had enough. No, I shouldn't be feeling that. No, I should be Zen. No, I'm all things to everyone. And this is the kind of delusional conversation that a lot of people with high empathy can have. And this is what the awakening process is about. It's about the realization that you ain't all sweet and light, my Jedi friends. And it's okay not to be. It's okay. It's okay. It is okay. Tammy says, I have to tell you, I've never seen The Matrix or any of the Star Wars movies, except the original, lol. Maybe you should watch The Matrix, Tammy. And at that point of the red pill and the blue pill, you will know exactly what we're talking about. Exactly what we're talking about. So Glenn has entered the building. Welcome, Glenn. Thanks for joining us. People close to me are pushing back with my awakening, but I feel they are slowly awakening. I'm being very patient with them, not to push them too much, where they go back to sleep. Well, Glenn, fair play to you. The only thing to be is patient, but the real game here is to stay awake yourself and to keep yourself on track, regardless whether anyone else wakes up or not. Because you waking up and staying in the vibration and on that path will inspire the people that matter and the people that need to wake up. And it's also just as important on this journey to realize that some people just aren't ready to wake up. You know, you trying to wake up someone that's not really into it is just going to irritate both of you. It's just going to irritate both of you. So the game here, my Jedi friends, is to stay on track yourself, regardless what anyone else thinks. Now, I can tell you from a personal point of view, I've reached a point in my life where I've almost lost total touch with all of my family. There's only 2 members of my family that I have any sort of regular conversation with. Well, one, any sort of regular. The bottom line is that waking up is brutal, and a lot of it can be drawing boundaries. And that's on bullshit behavior and not giving any special allowance just because people are family. No, it's even more important to draw boundaries on bad behavior within family units as well. You've got to look after yourself. This is the hard part for most empaths and the awakening process. You want to be all sweetness and light. You want to have people all around you. Better the devil you know. All of these things. Dealing with nonsense. Yes, but it's better than being lonely. Is it? Because this is a lonely journey for a lot of people. It can be a very lonely journey. Even if you're in a family unit, there's nothing more isolating than knowing that you're awake and no one else is around you. That's lonely, even within the unit. You can be in a group of people and still feel very, very lonely. That is part of the process. This is part of what we're talking about here. This is part of waking up. And this is the question. This is the question. Right back to you, turquoise blue. It's time. Is it time? Is it time? Is it time you took ownership of this? That most people aren't ready for this journey. And the only way you've got any chance of bringing people or raising the vibration of the people that you would like to come with you is to stay in the vibration yourself. And part of that is learning to deal with all of the dismissiveness, all of the lack of understanding, all of the people that don't get it, all of the 99% of people that probably never get it, to get to the 1% of people that you're here to help. There you go. The 1%, folks. And what that means is, well, I'm going to point it out. You probably know exactly what it means, but I'm going to point it out anyway. What it means is that not everyone's going to get it. In fact, most people aren't. And it's your job to be comfortable enough with the relationship you have with yourself in order to navigate that, because that's tricky terrain. It's tricky terrain, tricky terrain, tricky terrain that we find ourselves in there. The doubters, the haters, the trollers, they come out of the woodwork if you dare to raise your vibration, dare to wake up. The Matrix people. So for you, Tammy, in the Matrix, there's people that are dressed in black suits and dark shades. But when you wake up, they come out. They come at you. They come at you to clip your wings and control you and put you down and shoot at you. You don't like it. The Matrix doesn't like you waking up. And this is what it'll feel like for people that are on this path. It will feel that way, my friends. It will feel that way. That's just the way that we roll here. So these are the questions that we're talking about, that it is necessary and it's not very easy. It's not very easy. And most people can't handle it. They can't handle the truth. They just can't handle it. They're Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men. Sitting there, it's a code red. Did you order a code red? Did you order a code red pill on the Matrix? See, they overlap. It's all about red. Code red, red pill. If you take that, my Jedi friends, you definitely need support. And that is exactly, gratuitous plug alert, that's exactly what the Jedi Training Academy is about. That's what I do. And I am going to plug it because it will change lives, and I'm not doing anyone any justice not to. But I'm going to put a link in for the Jedi Training Academy because this next one starts next Tuesday. So we're going to be doing our first session as of next Tuesday, and this is going to be a 3-month mentoring program. It's going to help you through all of this stuff that we're talking about today. If you are resonating with the symptoms of what I've said so far, then definitely you will not find anything like this. I guarantee it. You absolutely won't, especially for the price that I'm charging for it. It's massive, massive, massive value. And here, my Jedi friends, I will re-emphasize, if you get through this program, do what we agree, and haven't got at least 5 times the value of what you've paid for it, I'll give you a full refund. There you go. Now that sounds a bit too good to be true. Yes, 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 yes. Oh no, is he real? Is he real? Is that a real offer? Well, it is. And the reason that you don't hear this very often is because people aren't as confident as I am that this stuff really works. Because quite often I get results with people if I'm one-on-one for half an hour. Because I'm good, my Jedi friends. And part of this is taking ownership of the stuff that you are good at. Because it's all very well people with high empathy being blending into the background, not wanting to brag, not wanting to share their gifts or their talents. Well, this is part of it. And if you're watching this, the odds are part of you knows you've got a talent, but you're not selling it. You're not getting out there and selling it. People don't appreciate what you bring to the party. People don't appreciate your full gifts. Well, this is me appreciating exactly. This is a lifetime of dealing with this. This is a lifetime of training, of working with thousands of people, of working with people that were facing death, of training in 6 different energy systems, and of being the friend that everybody seems to phone up if they've got a dying loved one. And that was something I never advertised. All of my mates, I'm the person they phoned up, and they all thanked me because of the wisdom that I was able to bring to that situation in their life. And this is about owning the stuff that you bring to the party here. And people with high empathy, especially me, in the past, I didn't like to brag about this stuff or to promote any of this stuff because I thought that was not a good thing. And then I see narcissistic assholes promoting stuff and not even being genuine about it. And people paying loads of money for it. And I thought, I'm not doing anyone justice by shrinking into the background and trying to be modest about this stuff. So there you have it, my Jedi friends. Little pitch for you. So Tammy says, I've got my boots on, more than ready. I've been learning about manifesting and learned that the universe has a crazy sense of humor. It certainly does, Tammy. There are lots of comedians in the universal mix that we find ourselves in, and keeping a sense of humor is really, really important. That is one thing that was the real gift of having an Irish dad. He used to say to me, he was always funny, my dad, because my mum's always been hard work. He used to say, he said, it's like this, son. He said, if there was a God, he obviously looked down and he thought, look at that Irishman having way too much fun. He's having way too much fun. We need to neutralize that. Let's send him a raging lunatic. And that is what happened. It was part of the master plan. We've got Grizzly. Grizzly Gar is back in the house. Welcome back, Grizzly. I've been trying to reach my niche in life, especially since the pandemic, but the outer forces have squashed all my intentions. Am I just imagining this, or are people doing this to me? Well, there's a question, Grizzly. That is a very good question. It can seem that way, and that ties in with everything that I've said so far on this stream. But waking up, shining your light, doing your thing is a brutal process, and there's going to be a lot of doubters. So let's re-emphasize this, because this is really, really important. Doing the sort of work that I do, I understand that 99, at least, I'm being conservative now, 99% of the planet is never going to understand what I'm telling you on this stream. This is fruitcake central. I spend most of my life in that zone. Exploring rabbit holes. You start to tell your mates, eyes glaze over, they don't want to hear it. You have to get really comfortable. Waking up, you have to get comfortable with yourself. You have to get comfortable with your vibe and your groove. And you have to just look beyond the doubters, the 99% of people that are just never going to get it. You're going to get criticism, and we're right back to the sense of humor. You definitely need a crazy sense of humor. Tammy's right on that one. You've got to have a sense of humor in this thing, because there is going to be a whole rooms full of doubters, a lot of people that never really get this stuff. They never really get it. They will never wake up to it. They will never be your target audience. What they will be is a great resource for throwing doubt in your direction and for maybe taking the piss, what they do. So Tammy says, I bought a $1 lottery ticket. It was 888, but the numbers had a total of 7, 14, 21, not 24. Close, but not a winner, lol. Well, let's talk about a lottery that you do have control of, Tammy. That's exactly. Waking up is like a lottery ticket. But just imagine that rather than buying the lottery ticket and hoping that all the numbers that come out align with your ticket, that's being an empath. That's seeking approval from others. And that's how you go through your life, with a lottery ticket, hoping your numbers come in. Waking up is thinking, right, fuck it. I'm not even going to fill in my lottery ticket till all the numbers are out. And part of that is going through doubt. The first number that you've got to go through is doubt. The second number is waking up to the fact that you're probably going to have to fall out with a lot of your family. The third number is realizing that you actually have to do a lot of this on your own and to foster your own relationship with yourself. Your fourth number is getting really comfortable with your talent and being able to own that in any space, even if you're full of doubters. Your next number is putting all of this together and waking up to this fact that it can be a very lonely and isolating journey. And once all of those 5 numbers come in, the 6th and final lucky ball is when you're vibrating all of this, you'll find your tribe. When you've got your vibe, you'll find your tribe. There you go. Look at that. Where did I pull that one from? Look, never thought about that one before. But that's actually quite good. Might have to remember that. I have to note it down. When you find your vibe, you'll find your tribe, my Jedi friends. And this is what it's about. You're surrounded. You are, this is the same analogy that I gave. You are the eagle in the chicken coop. If you put an eagle in with the chickens, it will spend its whole life believing it can't fly. And all of the chickens will tell you you're nuts for thinking that you can go flying through, soaring through the sky. The chickens, they're clucking. The chickens mentoring the eagles, my Jedi friends. That's what you've got. And this goes right back to the question about people not getting where you're at. People won't get it. A lot of people are never going to be your target audience. They never will be. They'll never wake up to this. They will never wake up. They will not be awake. They are chickens. Speaking to you, my little eagles. Little eagles that know they can fly, know they can soar through the clouds. But being an empath, you don't want the chickens to feel bad at seeing you fly. And there lieth the paradox, my Jedi friends. You want to be one of the chickens. You want to get on with the chickens. You're high empathy. You can hang with the chickens. It'll give you time to be with the chickens. You've got nothing but love for the chickens, but the chickens just don't get you. They just don't get you. They haven't realized that you're different to them because you're their mate. You're their mate, and you're telling them stuff that chickens can't do. Can't do it. You're not even going to be accepted into KFC. It's a bleak life for chickens, my Jedi friends, my eagerly friends, my eagle friends. You need to wake up. You do not want to be a zinger. You're going to be part of a KFC chicken sandwich if you're not careful on this journey, because it is no place for an eagle. Keep away from Colonel Sanders. Stay away. Fly away, my eagerly friends. Do not fall into a KFC trap. It would be a disaster. I know that's an off-the-wall analogy, but I just thought I'd roll with it. Why not? Let's just roll with that. But this is what we're up against here. You've got to realize that most people aren't going to get who you are or what you do. Most people aren't like you. They are not like you, my Jedi friends. And Tammy says, wow, 1 to 4, done, been there, working on 5. I'm waiting for the 6th set. My oldest son has never doubted me and understands energy. And I'm trying to explain to the rest, even though it's familiar and new to me. Well, there you go. So there's your 1%, Tammy. Obviously, your oldest son knows the drill. Another eagle. The rest may be chickens in your family. You have to realize this. It doesn't mean you can't love the chickens. Well, for me, especially with my sister, for example, we've got a very close relationship, but I just don't talk about any of the stuff that I talk about here. And maybe she might peek a look at a YouTube video and her eyes will glaze over and think, look, he's off again. Look at him. He's off. He's on one of his. He's talking eagles and chickens now. Look, he's completely lost it. He's completely lost it. But I'm comfortable with that. That's the difference. New me is comfortable with that dynamic. And you can be too, my Jedi friends. So Glenn says, I'm still new on this awakening journey. I've recently experienced images in my head, like someone was playing a long video, fast forward. The experience was a bit draining, but very interesting. Well, fair play to you, Glenn. As I said, the awakening process definitely isn't easy. It can be brutal, and most people change their mind. Most people will regret I cannot emphasize this enough. Certainly on the last Jedi Training Academy, I had to trigger people that were shouting at me. They were shouting at me. In fairness, they all gave me great testimonials and thanked me in the end. But this is part of it. When you realize what this is all about and what's actually going on and who you really are, it's going to piss you off. The truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. There's a little statement. It will set you free, my eagle friend. But first, it will definitely piss you off. I'll tell you why it pisses you off. I mean, there's lots of different angles you can come at this, but they all lead to the same point. It's part of awakening or waking up, or the process of awakening is taking full responsibility for everything in your life. And part of that is having no one to blame but yourself for where you're at right now. But there's arseholes out, and you're always talking about arseholes, aren't you? You're always talking about these narcissists that come into your world. Surely you can blame them a little bit. Well, part of taking your own responsibility for everything that happens in your life is not giving your power away. And part of not giving your power away is not giving people the kudos or the credit that they have the power to piss you off or to negatively influence your life. That's how you take control of your own, by taking back your power, taking ownership for everything. So Tammy says, yes, Glenn, me too. Going on 3 years this month. Embrace it. Never doubt yourself. There you go. See, Tammy knows. She knows. Never doubt yourself. And that's part of the big part of the journey here. So this is what it's about. It can be brutal. It's difficult. I'm not going to tell you it's easy. People that work with me, it definitely isn't going to be easy, but it will be worth it. Not easy, but it is worth it. And I am extremely experienced in facilitating this process. And this is also another really important thing. So fair play. Glenn says, thank you, Tammy. This is a really important thing. When I go through this process, when we do this course, I'm not here to teach anyone anything. Now, you may say, yes, you teach a few energy techniques. Yes, possibly. It's a fair angle at it. But ultimately, I'm there to facilitate a journey of awakening for you within yourself. That the only reason that the process works is because you're brave enough to keep coming back. And it's your participation that gets the results, not my great teaching. Although I will say I am a pretty great teacher. Even if I say so myself, I'm pretty good at this stuff because I've done teaching for as long as I can remember. And this goes right back from my nursing days. I used to train people. I'm even a qualified, here's something I don't say very often. I'm a qualified teacher and assessor in nursing. Used to be a qualified teacher in nursing setting. I then went on, I ran events. I used to train people public speaking, used to teach them pitching for funding. I've always been training people in different things. I've been a stress management consultant. I worked teaching stress management to corporates. I've done all sorts of courses, trained them myself. And this is something that I know I'm naturally good at because I'm an impatient learner and I like to keep things interactive. And there's nothing more boring than someone that just talks at you. Well, all of the stuff that I do is designed to be interactive and it's designed to get results. And you get results by me largely getting out of the way and only intervening when it's completely necessary. Because a lot of this is just teaching you, reminding you, irritating you, probing you to realize that being energized, being awake, or the awakening process is a 24/7 journey. Working with energy is a 24/7 journey. You're always working with energy. Reminder, 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 and a few interesting techniques. And I will say, because I have to say, because it'd be foolish not to say, that I bring my advanced repertoire of energy exercises, stuff that you won't find on YouTube for the Jedi Training Academy. I keep a little bit back, my Jedi friends, even though I share quite a lot with you on the YouTube channel. But we're talking next level energy stuff. Next level energy interventions. That's one of the things that we share on this journey. Time to step up. Time to step up, my Jedi friends. It's time to step up. Tammy says, Adam, if you don't like the word teacher, how about interpreter? Well, fair play, Tammy. I call myself a facilitator, which is the same. It's the same. I mean, I'm not adverse to the word teacher. I just think that the teaching dynamic is all about my experiences of most of the teaching that I had is just somebody talking at me or somebody giving me loads of content. The best training I ever did was interactive training, where we used to play games, used to design training content, used to find out what the outcome was, and we used to create games so people would play. And a lot of this is part of it as well. That's why it's interactive, and that's why I really facilitate it. Really facilitate it. So Amber Dawn is here. Hello, Amber. Fair play. A new person, a new Jedi in the room. So all I have coming for me are people to talk at you. You don't listen, and you don't listen at all. I'm really struggling due to this. I spend much of my time alone because being around most people, I just get literally sick. Amber, we've just opened up a completely different rabbit hole here because people just talk at each other all the time now. Well, this is very, very interesting, Amber. And you've brought up a very good point here. This is a very good point. Very good point. So let's look at this. Even when I was growing up, people have a tendency to interrupt people because they get this thing in their head that think what they have to say is more important than everyone else. And not only that, but what you'll notice is that some people that are officially have been diagnosed with things like ADHD, they're the people that just interrupt you. You can't finish a sentence. ADHD, have to talk, have to talk. It is infuriating dealing with this dynamic. Now, for me, I understand what active listening is and what a rare skill it is in this day and age. And the reason I'm very good at active listening, is because I've been surrounded by lunacy for most of my life. Growing up in the household that I was in a lunatic asylum, if I interrupted the wrong person at the wrong time, I used to get a smack or I could be in danger. So I learned to shut up, just let people talk. Because if they're talking, they're not attacking. So I learned a rare skill from a challenging situation and went to a school of lunatics. So this skill evolved for me. And when I was in nursing, when we went on the ward, I felt like a fraud in my first year of nursing. And I didn't really know what to do. I didn't have a lot of nursing skills. So I used to just sit on the beds and listen to patients and talk to them, talk with them and to listen. Did a lot of listening. Listening is a rare skill. Active listening is even rarer. And in this day and age of TikTok videos and doom scrolling, the point being, you've got less than 3 seconds to interest people or they've already moved on. Some people say it's up to 7 seconds. There's the 7-second rule when I used to teach people pitching or networking. When you go to networking do's, everybody gets up and they get 1 minute to talk about themselves. If you haven't won people over in the first few seconds, you've lost them. And the rest is just horseshit. No one cares. No one cares. No one cares, my Jedi friend. So Amber says, I can't believe you even addressed my comment. Thank you. You brought tears. You brought me to tears. Good ones. Thank you. Well, I'm glad that it's helped, Amber. But this is such a good point. People with high empathy, have to suffer this. You know, we talked about gift and curse earlier on in the stream. This is a classic case. And Glenn says, lol, that's me, or used to be, with the interrupting. In fairness, Glenn, that's most people. It's most people. I even do it occasionally myself. Here I am positioned. I'm a great listener. Sometimes, no. I think everyone's guilty of it at a certain level. And let's face it, some people just drone on and on and on. I have to interrupt them. So here's another thing. Let's actually flip this. Because I work with energy, and I've taught pitching, these two things. Sometimes people say stuff to me and I've got what they're trying to say within seconds of them saying it. Seconds. I know what they're trying to tell me. And then I have to listen to them fumble around as though I'm some sort of idiot that never understood it the first time they said it. And they go on and on and on and on when within seconds I understand what they were saying. And sometimes it does just drive me mad. Sometimes it's like, no, I've got it. And I will interrupt because they're just wasting my time and theirs. I've got what they were trying to tell me. And it doesn't serve anyone really to let them go on and 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 on. We all know the person that just loves the sound of their own voice, a bit like me on this live stream, because there's no one else here, my Jedi friends. I'm talking to myself, self-inflicted. Amber says, yes, they repeat and repeat and repeat, and you feel insane. Yes, you know it. So this brings together a lot of the topics that we've talked about on this thread. Firstly, your gift is your curse. Secondly, you have to own the things that you're good at. Thirdly, awakening is brutal. Fourthly, you have to be a better friend to yourself. Fifthly, you're likely to feel very lost, lonely, and isolated on this journey, which, my Jedi friends, is probably why you've been drawn to this live stream. It's probably why you've been drawn here. And finally, that your spirit tribe awaits. And that is people, when you finally wake up to this and realize you're surrounded by people that don't get it, that you're the eagle in the chicken coop, you'll start looking to find your tribe. You start looking to find your tribe. That's where we look. Amber says, man, thank you, heart guy. You've helped my heart before. Thank you, warrior hearts. Thank you, Amber. You'll give me an ego issue, but thank you. I appreciate it. It's very kind of you to say so. Tammy, Amber, use your alone time to heal. Listen to Adam's previous videos. They've helped me tremendously. Well, thank you, Tammy. Look at that little endorsement as well. Which, as I say, look, again, I've managed to ramble on for almost an hour. So I will close this stream very shortly in a couple of minutes. If you've got any closing comments or statements or things you want to share, I'll keep it open for a little bit. But what I will do is encourage you. I'm going to leave a link on this live stream in the comments for people to sign up for the Jedi Training Academy. This is life-changing, my Jedi friends, and I guarantee it. I guarantee it will change your life. Guarantee. You'll not find anything as valuable as this for the value that I'm offering it at. And we start next Tuesday. So if you want to really take this to another level, if you want to really up your game, if you want to connect with fellow Jedis, if you want to be helped along this very brutal, sometimes lonely awakening process, then do get in touch. I'll leave my email at the end of it. Do contact me. And this will change your life, my Jedi friends. I promise you. I will promise you. So there you go. Got a few comments coming in. Let's have a look. I've forgotten which ones I've shown. I'm alone too much, actually. Thank you, Tammy. I will check that out. Fair play. As I say, it can be very lonely and isolating, Amber, on this journey. The awakening process is brutal. It can be brutal. It can be brutal. And Glenn says, thank you. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you for joining me. And Ultug, thanks a lot, Adam. Have a nice day. Thanks, Ultug. As ever, an absolute pleasure for you all, my Jedi friends. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being part of the live stream and getting involved. And do reach out if you fancy changing your life permanently with the Jedi Training Academy. Links will be left on this video. Take care, my Jedi friends. Shine your light, because the world needs you to wake up. To wake up!